Any skill I approach, like killing a distraction or entering monk mode, use the same process that real criminals use to get jobs done perfectly without getting caught. And this is the one process that let me recover from losing over 60k due to being distracted. With this process, I guarantee that you'll destroy all your distractions one by one until none are left, at least the ones you don't want are left. And if it works for my dumbass who lost a fuck ton of money, it can work for you as well. And I'm not a productivity guru who just sits there and learns about productivity all day to teach you productivity so you can be more productive. No, I was productive enough to actually get a high paying job, leave that job, and now sit here in the middle of the workday and make videos on the internet for you so you can do the same. And this is after losing more money than most people have in their bank account. So all you have to do is just pick up this one skill, give it some time, and 100% you will get done what you need to get done. So let me explain. There's actually just one pattern that I noticed in every single failed monk mode. It's like I do it for X number of days, so 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I work on X goal, so it could be coding, some other skill, or like, oh, I get a six pack or get really healthy in the particular time period. And on top of that skill, I don't do any more of XYZ. So no socializing, no video games, no dirty videos, no Netflix, no junk food, no partying. Everything gone. Then what happens is you relapse on something. So like, oh, you went and watched one dirty video and you're like, oh shit, I messed up, just like NoFap. And then once you realize like, okay, I broke my streak, I broke my monk mode, the 30 days is over, the 90 days is over, then you just go into distraction, you full on, you're like, oh yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter anymore, I already broke my streak. You failed. But the reason you failed is just flip this around. If you thought of just killing distractions as a skill by itself, so not doing something as a skill, think of what happens when you try to learn 10 skills at once. There's no way you can learn 10 skills at once. You just fail at all of them, right? Well, that's exactly what's happened when you try to cut out 10 distractions at once. Well, luckily for you, there's a criminal way to flip getting fucked by 10 different distractions and instead fuck your distractions one by one. And that is to make a hit list. So first is just to list all your distractions. So if you had listed video games, maybe Netflix, dirty videos, doom scrolling, you maybe have more distractions than this, but this is most likely the main ones. Then once you list out all of them, you go into step 2 and just to pick only one. And if you think about it, you probably have like 1 or 2 distractions that take up the majority of the time. So like maybe 6+ hours of your time is spent on video games, or maybe for you it's Netflix, or for you it's dirty videos. If you're, I don't know, that's pretty bad, but anyways, maybe it's doom scrolling for you. And this will be your one distraction that you'll actually target. Because think about it. Do you really need to get rid of the distraction that's only messing up 1 hour of your time versus the distractions like 6 hours? Obviously, if you just take the 6 hour one, which is a lot easier to focus on one, then you can get that 6 hours back instead of failing at both of them and then not recovering any time. So that's why in step 3, you just actually keep doing all the other distractions. So if your main one is video games, you only target that one and you keep doing all the other ones for like the 1 or 2 hours that you do. And that's fine. But even with this, a lot of the times you might realize that you get distracted without even realizing you get distracted in the first place. For example, like a lot of times you might realize you just pick up your phone randomly, unconsciously, and then you start doom scrolling without even realizing, and 2 hours passed, and you're like, oh fuck, what the fuck happened, right? So you actually have to notice when the actual distraction comes to get rid of it. And that's the next part of this. And you don't need discipline. You need a constant reminder that you're in monk mode in the first place, so you don't get distracted. To always have monk mode within your awareness so you can control any distractions that actually come. A layer of protection. So if you imagine that your work over here is if your mind is set on work, and then over here is the distraction, and then your mind slowly drifts over to the distraction. You need something in between that was like reminds you like, oh fuck, I need to get back to work. So then you sort of bounce off back into focus. Sort of like if you think about a hitman, he has picked his target, and you, just like you have picked your distraction as a target in this situation, you have to take out the target without ever getting caught, right? Or ever relapsing unconsciously. Because once you get caught, sort of mission failed, right? The distraction actually gets stronger and now is like able to run away, sort of, and you spiral out of control. So what is this magical layer of protection that will stop you from getting caught from all distractions? It is actually your phone, for real. So think about what usually happens. Even if you're not actually getting distracted by your phone like doom scrolling, you probably have your phone nearby, like whenever you're in a loading screen or just waiting for something, like maybe your Netflix video is buffering or you're in a video game just waiting for something to load. You probably pick up your phone and you tap your finger on it and you just start looking around randomly. Nothing in particular to do. You just have to keep your brain occupied because it's kind of fucked up. Well, you can actually exploit this mini distraction for getting rid of the bigger distraction. And it's only one step. You literally just set your phone screen to a particular color. A very eye-catching color is the best. So like red or sort of like yellow or orange like I have. And what this does is basically in those times where your mind's blank and you have nothing to do and you reach for your phone, which is generally always between a distraction, you see that phone color, which is your reminder, like, oh shit, I'm in monk mode right now, or like, oh, I shouldn't get distracted. So you were in focus, you start to get distracted, but you're waiting at a load screen, so you see your phone, and then you hit this layer of protection, so you see the color, like, oh, I'm in monk mode right now. And that's when you can just get back to the work. You sort of have your phone as a wall to bounce back on. And not only does it have this protection effect against distractions, on top of that, it actually starts to train your awareness, because you notice like every single time that you get distracted, and this helps you realize that you are getting distracted. You notice that moment, like what is it that happened just before that allowed me to get distracted? Was it a loading screen? Was it something that I was unclear about when I was working? Is it because there's a particular type of work that often makes me bored? And over time, this trains you to catch your distractions even without your phone. And after a while, you'll never get caught by distractions. But you have to eventually dispatch the distraction, right? If the distraction still has its pull on you, if the target on your hit list never dies, then you're never going to actually complete the mission. It's always going to pull you down, right? So if you want to actually make monk mode much more effortless, you need to get rid of the pull of the distraction itself. Completely destroy it. You need to execute the target, right? And most people here just use willpower, but I'll tell you exactly why that doesn't work. If you can imagine two lines in a line chart, you'll have over here your monk mode flow state, and down here you have your when you're actually distracted. Whenever you use willpower, you can think about it like this. You use willpower to resist your distractions, so you start to get focused and you start on your work. But eventually the pull of distractions pulls you down, reduces your focus, and then you use willpower to pull yourself back into work. But in that distraction, that pull is still there. It's a constant pull. So it pulls you back down. And as your willpower wears down, you get closer and closer until you eventually just dip down into distractions for the rest of the day and fail your work. So that's why you need to actually make the pull of work, whatever you're doing, stronger than the distraction, the pull of distractions, and not just use willpower, because eventually that will wear down. And how you do this is quite simple. It is to prime your curiosity. So if you just think of a scenario where you're doing your work, and again, you're getting distracted, but luckily for you, you had the previous step, which is the wall of protection. You had your phone. So it reminded you like, oh, I'm getting distracted, before you actually got distracted. But then right here, instead of using willpower to try to pull yourself back up, only to wear it down, instead, you just think about what is the work that I need to do. So let's say you're writing something. It could be writing anything as your work. You think about like, okay, what could I write? Like, don't even try to type it out yourself. Don't even do the work. What is the ideas that I would write? Like, sort of think about the outline. So you have the ideas in your head. You have the steps, exactly what you to do in your head. So if you're doing something physical, maybe you can think about the steps that you need to do. And with those ideas all by itself, you're like, oh shit, this is some good stuff, really good ideas. I want to give it a try. And that'll actually pull you upwards, because you don't want to forget those good, valuable thoughts that you just had, right? Your brain immediately wants to get those things done. Doesn't want to let go of the good progress that you've already made. It wants to make those good ideas a reality before you forget it. So two things will either happen. You'll either write it down, which is productive in itself. So if you get distracted, you immediately know what to do. Clarity to get back into work. But usually what happens actually is, since those ideas, if you thought them through really well, you're like, fuck yeah, you want to give it a try. So you actually end up getting pulled into the monk mode flow state just by having this stuff in your mind in the first place. And eventually, if you do this enough, you always have the good thoughts in your mind. You have so many inputs, essentially, that you want to get out, that you go deeper and deeper into flow. The pull from distraction gets weakened. So instead of a curve that looks like this, you start to have a curve that looks like this, and eventually that is the weakening. This uptrend into flow is the weakening of your distraction until it is completely gone and you're actually in flow, at least for the day. And you repeat it for the next day, the next day, next day, until you pretty much start out into the state of flow, because you're getting a lot of good work done, and that satisfaction helps you increase pull of your work and decrease the pull of whatever distraction that you are targeting. So deeper and deeper focus, closer to flow. You used these monk mode criminal tactics to target, track, and execute at least one distraction, and you can do this one by one till all of them are gone. But you might be wondering, what the fuck do I do once I have all of this free time? Like, sure, you can work for like 1, 2, 3 hours, maybe more. But eventually, like 8+ hours, you're going to get burned out, right? So you have to have other productive things to do within that free time of monk mode, but not let the other distractions that you didn't target yet fill up all that time. Because if you just let it fill up all that time, well shit, you're back at square one and not productive, right? So that's why you need to watch this video next, where I'll show you exactly what to do within that reacquired time.